So Niger have cut all military ties with the United States. Au revoir. I mean, you love to see it, right? You love to see it. This is breaking news. This just happened. They just announced it on television in Niger. I'll play the official announcement in a second. It's in French, but, you know, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay? So here, this is from Reuters. You can see Niger's ruling military. Again, they have to use the word junta, you know, like it's a band of people with Kalashnikovs. This is a new government. It's the legitimate government. They represent the people. Niger's government have revoked with immediate effect a military accord that allows military personnel and civilian staff from the U.S. Department of Defense on their soil. Okay? This decision follows a visit by U.S. officials this week, which was led by Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs Molly Fee, and it also included General Michael Langley, who is head of U.S. AFRICOM. So, you know, the United States have the world divided up into sections, and he heads that. Here's the official statement that was played on TV.
Le gouvernement du Niger, prenant en compte les aspirations et les intérêts de son peuple, décide en toute responsabilité de dénoncer avec effet immédiat l'accord relatif au statut du personnel militaire des États-Unis et des employés civils du département américain de la...
Right, so he's saying the legitimate government of Niger, acting with the interests of the Nigerian people in mind, has decided with immediate effect to annul the agreements with the United States. And you guys remember that I covered this in detail, the whole coup in Niger, and that was the 8th coup in this region, in West Africa, in former French, West Africa. And what they did is quite spectacular, because you have to remember, they've kicked the Americans out now, and they kicked the French out 6 months ago. You have to respect what Niger are doing here. This is such a victory. It's such a victory. It's a victory on epic proportions. Truly, a victory of epic proportions. Because for a country like Niger that was colonized by France, to kick out the former colonizer, or shall we say the neo-colonizer, and then on top of that, within 6 months to then kick out the United States, who have dubbed themselves the world's foremost superpower. It's spectacular. I truly applaud them. I truly applaud them. This is the base in Niger where they had a rotation. So you have to understand what took place is that a few months ago, this is my political analysis. Niger had a change of government. They had the coup. And they hate France. They hate France for colonizing them, for stealing their resources, and for subjugating them. So what I think happened with the Americans went in, and we saw Victoria Nuland visit. And she basically bought time for the Americans. So what the Americans told Niger is, look, if you want to kick out the French, we're not going to stand in your way. You can go ahead and kick them out. But you let us stay in the country. Okay? And that's why you had a rotation afterwards. They moved some of their troops. The Americans moved their troops. All of a sudden, a giant convoy. All of a sudden. It's not random. This was agreed upon with the government. They moved to Airbase 201. Now, that's in Agadez. Niamey is the capital. Agadez is the drone base the Americans have built for themselves. You have to understand what a blow this is to the Americans, what this annulment of the agreement, because the drone base in Agadez, do you know how much it cost them? It cost $100 million to build. And it's funny because if you ask most Americans, you grab an American off the street and you ask them, do you know what Agadez is? They have no flipping clue. They got no idea where their own money has been used for. They got no flipping clue. They can't even find Niger on a map. No offense. But, this is the biggest drone base on the planet. And we all know the Americans love drones. They love killing people with drones. And so now that's over. That's over. So this is such a win for anti-imperialist movements. And I want to show you also what a kick in the nuts they gave the French, because that was like its own fiasco. I mean, like having the French ambassador on the run, because he was declared persona non grata. In diplomatic terms, that means get the hell out of the country now. Your visa is annulled. It's gone. You have to leave now. You're banned. And you know what he does? He just goes and hides in the French embassy with his family. And then in the end, he had to leave. He had to leave like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs, like a whimpering dog. I don't know if dogs do that, but anyway. So after that, not only that, look what happened in, this was in February, wasn't it? Actually, I'll get to February. So hold on. Before I get to the latest kick in the nuts, the first kick in the nuts, Niger cut all uranium and gold exports to France. This was in July. Okay, July 2023. I mean, how beautiful. How beautiful. Remember that the uranium that comes from Niger powers 1 out of, what was that again? 1 out of 3 light bulbs in France. So, 1/3 of their electrical consumption. 33% of France's electricity. 33% powered by Niger's uranium. Now, of course, the French will now say, we get some from Kazakhstan. Okay, yeah, well, I don't care what you're doing now. What you were doing for decades is you were stealing their shit and using it to power your country. So there you go. Now you're not doing that anymore, are you? The second kick in the nuts. Here comes the big kick in the nuts. This is from February, last month. Niger demands that France pay compensation for colonial plunder. Yes. You love to see it. You love to see it. They're setting up a committee. They're going to put out a repayment schedule. I can't wait till they shove the bill in France's face. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I don't even want to know what the final sum is. Honestly, I'm scared. And I'm scared, and I'm not the one paying it. That bill is going to be so long and so big. Jesus. I don't even want to know. Deadly. And so now for them to give the United States a kick in the nuts, I mean, it's just beautiful. So we have to celebrate the wins when they come. We have to accept them when they come. And lo and behold, Niger have bestowed upon us a great victory, because you have to understand, this is a victory that has to be shared all across the global south, all across the free world. When I say free world, I don't mean like the George Bush, David Frum, Donald Rumsfeld free world. What I'm talking about is people like freedom fighters, people who actually care about freedom, about being, free. I mean, free of colonial power. Bravo, Niger. I love them so good, and well done. Bravo les gars, franchement, bravo.